Scorpio. Welcome. Thanks so much for coming. Let's do a reading for you. This can be for any time, whenever it resonates with you. Now, if it doesn't resonate with you or parts don't resonate with you, you might check out your other placements, okay? That would be either your sun, moon, or rising. And we're going to start off with 3 oracle cards and then go into the tarot. You have Wolf Spirit. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Let's get some more cards. But what I'm feeling about that, something you know, but you need to go deeper with it. You need to contemplate, think about it, turn it into wisdom. And I feel like it's maybe not everything, but something that's important, and you know it's important. You need to turn that into wisdom, okay? Now for the Prism Oracle, space. This is talking about there's something that you want to put in your life or feel like you need to put into your life. It could be because either you feel like you're experiencing a void, an empty spot there. Or it could just be something that you're wanting to add because it makes you feel more complete. And it could have to do with that wisdom. Turning knowledge into wisdom. You've experienced so many things, and it's time to evaluate those and see what needs to stay, what needs to go, etc. Okay, wisdom of the oracle to the sea. So I feel a few things about this. One is, it is time for you to take a little time for yourself to evaluate this and put it into your life as a guide. You know how we all look within to decide how to react to whatever's going on. And I think that's part of this. But this is also talking about when you do this, whatever it is, this will help you to be in a state of flow. And whenever you're in a state of flow, everything is much smoother. Life is not so challenging. And it makes perfect sense, because if you're evaluating what you've lived through and taken the parts that should be turned into wisdom and keeping them with you, then, many of the answers that you need are right there, easily accessible. Okay, let's go ahead and get some tarot. Here you have choices. Well, of course you do. And what I was just talking about, I think, applies here. Choosing which to keep with you or what to keep with you, and the correct for you interpretation of that. So make the choices that are best for you, that give you what you need. Okay? Okay. This is a lovely energy. This is where you are leaving where you have been to go for your desired destination, one that is more peaceful, one that's happier, one where the light shines the way that makes you feel warm inside. It's a beautiful energy. So, filling that space with what it is that is just right for you is helping you to go on to these calmer waters, which puts you more in a state of flow. Now here, this is you working through this and potentially mastering it, and maybe even teaching others about it. So that, it's possible that you might be doing this and you end up sharing it in a way where you're teaching others. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Nine of Swords. And what I feel about that is that you've been through a time that's been distressing. I don't think it's in the now, but I think this might be the reason for you to go through this time in your life, right? Things were happening that were distressing, and you're trying to figure out why and what to do with it. So that is this process, potentially. Okay, let's get some more. See what we find out. Alrighty. Okay, here you have the Seven of Wands. And this can be an energy where you feel like you need to protect and defend because others could be trying to stop you or, change what's going on or questioning you. It's a defensive energy. But here you are working on your wisdom to bring yourself to this beautiful place of being in the flow. So this could be a part of this energy where you feel like you need to protect and defend. And that could be what put you here, even. But what it's bringing about is a wonderful thing where you're not, what's coming to me is you're not feeling like you need to protect and defend. You're feeling like you need to figure out what's going on here. There's a reason for this, a reason why you feel like you need to protect and defend. And this is the process of those thoughts and emotions. So you are making the choice to go forward, not protecting and defending, but figuring out the dynamic behind it. Wonderful, yeah. Here you are, filling this space, going to these calm waters, right? Which is bringing about a new beginning for you. One that's in the physical, where you feel this happiness, this joy, this calmness. You're getting out of this energy, and it's all by using what is within you, which is huge. You don't even have to go to an exterior source, an outside source. All you have to do is go within. And here, this process of learning and mastery, fast-moving positive energy, which is bringing you into a state of flow. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the very same card that you have right here. So this is the universe's way of saying, I meant what I said. It's also saying, look, there's a little more emphasis on this part, so pay special attention to that. Take a look at your choices and make for sure that you're making the right choices for what it is you're wanting to do and go for, okay? Oh, let's see what the universe would like to share. I think this is a really good reading because it's helping you to bring in the wisdom, to help feel more complete, to be in the flow. And it's all by going within. Yeah, you don't need to ask somebody else, go seek advice. I mean, you can certainly if you want to, if it's beneficial. But you have everything inside of you. Look at that. Perfect. You have the sun. Very best energy in the deck. So this is saying by you going through this process, you're bringing in the very best energy possible. One where you feel the happiness, the security, the good finances, and it's just a wonderful energy all around. Now, something that also can come with this is like a return to innocence. So you could say that prior to, there's been a lot of weight and potentially confusion about why do people do what they do? Why did I do what I did? Etc. Why did I allow myself to get this stressed out over whatever it is? And so there was this return to innocence. It's just kind of like wiping that out. You keep the wisdom that applies to you as important to you, but you just totally let go of the rest. Here you have the Three of Pentacles, which is what you have right here. So again, the universe is putting importance on that, but also saying, yeah, pay attention to your choices and how you are progressing. And what's coming to me on that is give yourself the attaboys. That's a military term. Give yourself the pat on the back. Acknowledge your efforts. It's huge to give yourself acknowledgement, approval, pats on the back when you do something that is beneficial or good, or what you feel is leading you in the right direction. Okay? The Wheel of Fortune is turning, and it certainly looks like it is turning in your favor, because you are, by all of this, filling that space to feel more complete and more whole. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is saying, take the action. Do this. It's a wonderful thing to do. But don't be in a crazy fast hurry. Do it at a speed that is just right for you. When you do that, the stress level does not increase, right? Because you're doing it at a pace that's just right for you. And also be thorough. And I'd say that is a very important thing to do, because if you're going through here selecting what it is that you should remember and put in your toolbox and what you should let go, it's important to be correct for you, right, in this. So this is saying get all your T's crossed, I's dotted, do it in the way that is the most beneficial. So don't be in a rush. Okay, let's see if any tea leaves would like to come out for you about this. Okay, we have one. Let's see if we have anything else coming out. Yes, we have another. Well, you're getting a few. Okay. Okay, anything else? No, that's it. We'll take them in the order they came out. Here, beware of self-delusion. Okay, so this to me can be one of a few things that, say right here, for example, maybe there was a time when you felt like you did need to defend yourself, when in reality, you didn't. Here, these are your emotions. They could be brought on by an external source or solely within you, but it is your thoughts and emotions. Be aware of self-delusion, right? Did you really need to be in this energy? Or was it, say, tender spots within you that, just kind of grabbed onto this and put you there? So be aware of that. And that could be part of why you're going through this process. Spirit, heartache over what you no longer have. This, it doesn't feel like it really applies here, other than maybe something happened here to where you feel like you lost something, right? And here maybe. But what I'm feeling about this is the heartache, you could see here potentially. But this heartache, be aware of self-delusion. This might very well be a heartache over something, say, that you've believed for years. And now you are really taking a good look and creating change in your life. So instead of heartache, maybe it is what I'm feeling, not really thinking, but feeling is whenever you've done something for a long time, the potential is there for you to feel a loss if you let it go, right? But if that is what's going on, it's a good thing, okay? So be aware of self-delusion. This should not be a heartache over what you no longer have. This should be a celebration, right? So don't let yourself fall into this trap. Okay, what do we have here? Pay attention to your work. Okay, and in this case, for me, the work is evaluating experiences and keeping the wisdom that is appropriate for you and letting go of the rest. That is work. Here, teardrops, great personal sorrow. And to me, actually, let me put this here because I think this applies here, and I think this applies here. I think we should take a card for this because I do feel definitely like these three are going together. And the dragon is the one that needs to be paid attention to. Be aware of self-delusion. Now, this could be things that have happened in the past that did cause great personal sorrow, right? And here, heartache over what you no longer have. So let me move these. Great personal sorrow, heartache over what you no longer have. But then you have this. Be aware of self-delusion. Because what I'm feeling from this is what you no longer have, and the heartache over it is something that maybe you were brought up with, a belief, or maybe you lived through something long enough that it created a belief. And sometimes when you separate out from that, you can feel a loss. But if you can stand back and see the bigger picture, it's not this heartbreaking loss. It is a beneficial, happy letting go of something that really wasn't serving you. I hope that made sense. Like, I've done that. I think we've all done that. Either we were brought up as a child believing something, and then when you reach a certain stage in your life, you realize, well, no, that doesn't fit. That doesn't belong. I've got to let it go. But because you've had it for so long, you might fill this void. And remember this card here. I mentioned filling a void. Yeah. Filling alone. Filling a void. Not F-I-L-L-I-N-G, but F-E-E-L. Feeling this loss or feeling, the void. So this is a little deeper than I thought it was going to go. But here, beautiful. This is you taking action on your truth. You're starting to see clearly, having this clear sight, having this knowledge, this wisdom of knowing which way to go and what to do. So it's you being in your truth and taking action on this. So I would say this time in your life is really a big change, a big time where you're letting go of something that is either obsolete, never was correct, but you thought it was because of the way you were raised or something. But now you're mature enough, you see the truth, and you know which way to go. So these, I feel like you're replacing these with what is real. Okay? Yep, that's deep. Yeah, here we go. The devil energy, letting go of the energy that kept you chained up or bound or in a belief system that was not right for you. And one more here. Here, I feel like it belongs right here. This is a process of you going into the hermit energy, clearing all this out, thinking it through, and coming out with your enlightenment, what is real for you, and walking away from what is not. So in that respect, this is really quite a lovely reading. You are changing from what you've been into who you are going to be. And I do think, there's this overlap here. It's been a process, but it is beautiful because now you're going to be able to see clearly. Thank you. I really hope this helps, and I'll talk to you again soon. Much love.